Oh, lots of interesting stuff today. One of them relating to hysteria with accidents. And it's just interesting how one event can lead to this chain reaction where now everything else is scrutinized. For whatever reason, it seems like again, all those reports are coming out again of, oh, more drones of near misses and all that. Although the news was kind of old, which kind of made me wonder why now. Well, first little fun thing for today. Some of my friends were telling me there was a trailer release for that movie, Birth of the Dragon. And yeah, some of them noticed that I was in there. Now, yeah, I did work on that last year. Can you guys see me in the trailer? You might be a little hard to tell because I look a little different, obviously, for that. It was kind of fun. It's one of those things too, right place at the right time, I guess. You're actually looking for like a real martial artist and all that. It was actually really fun. I was there for quite a few days, actually. And for me, it was actually more interesting because I actually studied things like Jeet Kune Do. And as well, I'm into like martial arts, obviously. So it was actually really exciting for me in that case. Too bad I can't talk more about it. I learned a lot of interesting stuff, and as well, just meeting people with different disciplines, like their backgrounds. It's one of the things, like I said, I'd love to document usually, but darn those dang NDAs, man. And remember back when I went to that fair at the Playland where they had all the amusement park rides and all that? And some of you were actually saying like, hey, how come I didn't go on that crazy ride? The one that was swinging back and forth. I'll show a clip of it here. I don't know, for me, like those rides don't really intrigue my interest anyways. It looks more scary than anything. But in general, the sad news was apparently in the US there was a ride that was similar. And yeah, you can see from the videos, holy cow, the thing actually crashed like for whatever reason and it injured so many people. I was like, that's nuts. It's interesting because even I said before, like on that vlog, like even stuff like that, there's always like a chance of a risk of something going wrong. And I guess this was one of those freak incidents. Now, of course, since this happened, everyone was more safety cautious, like looking like, okay, what's going on? Did people like double check? And apparently like they shut down like a lot of the rides and all that just to be safe. And I think only recently they started to open up like some of the safer rides. And it's interesting how this affected like everyone across like the world too. Like even like here, for example, apparently they shut down that ride just to check to make sure. I'm personally actually really curious to see how people react to this in the long term. Like, will people actually be terrified of amusement parks in general now? Or would it still be like one of those, it's an acceptable form of risk, like you know the risk, something that's going that fast, it'll happen. Or are they gonna make, for example, like new regulations or safety procedures to stop stuff like this? I then read this piece of news about drones, which in my opinion seems kind of random just based on the information. It says here, feds get 4 drone complaints a week from pilots, airports across Canada. Basically the story on how apparently there's a ton of people or whatever flying near airports, airplanes, and it's so dangerous where it could like, you know, kill lives or basically disrupt the whole traffic flow. Now, one of the reasons why I say it's kind of weird because it says here, it says the day before June 30th had been the busiest day in a small airport's history. So that, I'm assuming it's like Canada Day, like a lot of people were flying probably to get like footages and all that. So of course what the story is, they don't expect anything there, but then it says here, but there it was, and it had to be dealt with. A blue and white drone 900 meters up, 12 kilometers away, and very much in the way of all those planes. Like maybe a pilot understands this better than me, but to me, like just from that detail, it's kind of confusing because it says 12 kilometers away. Like, isn't that okay? 12 kilometers away from the airports or whatever? Because even before, it's always 9 kilometers away, correct? Isn't that pretty far? At the same time, it's a blue and white drone 900 meters up. I mean, for me, I just question, like, just based on all the reports, like, even the one recently, that other one where people mistaken, the drone for a bat? Like, what are the odds of this actually being a drone? That's my skepticism, personally. Not to say people don't do that, or there's an idiot that will do that, but it just makes me wonder with all these reports. Although one thing I did find kind of funny about this is this was apparently in Ontario, and yesterday we had that situation was in Ontario as well, where the police lost a drone. So I was wondering, hey, was that their flyaway drone? Now, obviously the dates and stuff are completely different there, so they can't be the same thing, but it still makes me wonder, like, first, like, how do you know it's a drone? And second, like, the context of it. How do you know it wasn't like some authorized person actually just flying it as well? How do you know it actually wasn't a police officer practicing? Now, of course, you would say afterwards, well, he was 900 feet in the air or whatever, apparently, so it couldn't be someone that was flying it, like, responsibly. But to me, again, it all comes down to context. Just the fact that you see a, quote, drone, like, whatever there, and to me, there's no reason to go, like, crazy over it. Like, to me, that would kind of relate with that amusement park example. Like, are they gonna ban all rides now or be that paranoid? Or are people just gonna treat it as, okay, well, that was a real isolated incident, but for the most part, like, everything else has been safe and has been, like, for years. I mean, to me personally, drone flying or anything else is the same thing. I mean, for the most part, people do it responsibly. And if you want to go after those specific people, then go after those specific people. But there's no reason in general to have like an overall fear of it as if it happens every day or 98% of the people are like that.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, jump!
Oh, what a nice view. Kind of interesting with that little dog there that jumped in the pond, he couldn't get back up. Well, this is kind of an interesting path. Like I went right into the middle of a hike. Was it like crow territory? I almost feel adventurous and keep going. Well, let's see what we can capture today. Attacking each other for food, it seems like. Okay, imagine walking and just finding this. Apparently that's for the show Once Upon a Time. I think you guys probably heard of that one. Now here's a difference between commercial and recreational. Clear difference. You need the whole place, you book it out. Anyways, see you guys later.